Hey guys. Hey besties. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. It's been a little bit, but given the situations, it is what it is. How are you? I hope you guys are doing good. Um, it's, oh God, it is, to say rough, that is the least of the things I could conjure right now. It's been rough. It's been really, really rough over here. Um, I don't even know where to start. But I am getting to a place that right this second that I can actually film. So that's a good thing, right? I mean, I think it's been 2 weeks since I checked in last. And that's pretty much when everything, um, the week that I posted my last video, I had pre-recorded that video before when I was feeling better. And I did that because I knew I could feel myself starting to get sick. And so I wanted to have something of me that had a little bit more sunshine, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But today I am doing my best at doing my best. But I put on some lipstick here today, you know. I don't know if you could tell, but I've lost more weight and stuff like that. Some people say that that's a good thing, but that's not really what I'm here for, but whatever. Anyway, it has been rough. Really, really rough in all sense of the words. I'm trying not to be emotional through this, and I want to give like a little disclaimer that anything that I say today, I'm not asking for any type of apologies or negative comments about people or things like that or whatever, although I really do appreciate your hugs. I do. Right now is the time in my life where I definitely could use them the most. This whole thing is about all sorts of stuff, not just one. My, gosh, look, I'm so proud of myself for getting makeup on today. It has been really difficult. I don't really like this color so much, but I feel like it's like smearing on my face or whatever, but if it is, just ignore me, please. I'm doing my best today. So what was it? A couple weeks ago, I went in and had my follow-up for oncology. And like I posted in my last video, the pain has just been unreal. And please don't ask me what pain medicines I'm doing and stuff like that, because I list it through my segments and people watch them or they don't watch them or whatever. But those who know, that's great. Go ahead and watch those videos from the past of the stuff that I've tried and what I'm on and stuff like that. I'll give you guys updates as things change, but I don't want to keep doing recaps of stuff that I've already done. That same thing goes for my cancer treatments and stuff. I'm just going to say right here and right now, my type of cancer that I have is stage 4 high-grade neuroendocrine cancer that started in my lung and spread it everywhere. However, that's not really 100% conclusive, because this is also the second type of cancer that I've had in my life. My first type of cancer that I had was in my 20s, and it was uterine cancer. I will never think anything differently, no matter what. They don't know a whole lot about my type of rare cancer. They're just discovering neuroendocrine cancer and all of that stuff, let alone this specific type of neuroendocrine cancer that I have, which is a very rare, aggressive, high-grade cancer. Anyway, like, I had uterine cancer when I was younger, but they never said what kind. And the area that I was living in Idaho, and I'm not trying to like shame on certain towns or cities, so I don't even want to name any of that, because, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's because it was that town or that city or whatever. No, it is what it is. I never received really good medical care throughout my 20s and later on. So the uterine cancer that I had, they never really followed up on. When they did the hysterectomy, they thought they got everything, but then they found some other stuff. And at that point, I wasn't really willing to take out my remaining ovary, because they took out everything else, my cervix, all sorts of stuff, except for my left ovary. And at the time I had some cysts on there, but at that point I was so over everything, and I was a new single mom of 4 kids. One of my oldest kid was 4 years old. My middle kid was 10 months old, and my twins were just born in ICU. And while I'm finding out that I was pregnant with my twins, while having uterine cancer, that aside, that's a totally different cancer. I can't help it, that cancer has moved everywhere else after all this time. And it was like, I feel like I was in remission for a long time before they discovered this cancer. And this cancer seems to be totally different than the other cancer, even though they knew nothing about the other cancer and nothing to compare it to, because at that point, I just did not receive the kind of care that I was supposed to. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, what's done is done. Fast forward to now, that's the kind of cancer that I have. Um, I'm at a place, and again, I don't want to redo my cancer story video here, just because I have it in so many other places on other segments. If you want to hear about my cancer history with this cancer, watch other segments, and you'll know more about what I have been through. But long story short, I feel like I'm at a good place of where I've gotten to, really, I outlived the prognoses quite a few times, and for my type of cancer too, I'm pretty grateful that I got to live as long as I did, and I'm still living, keep in mind. And yes, no matter prognoses are prognoses, but they are helpful to some people, but that doesn't mean the end thing. We all know that. Only God knows your end days. That's not where I'm going with this, and I don't want to make a whole conversation about it. But um, where I am today. So I had my last oncologist visit a couple weeks ago, and going through the excruciating pain that I was going through, it really feels like that of, imagine a huge crane. That's the best thing I could do. A crane, not a bird crane, but one of those huge, like an oil crane or whatever. You get to the top of that and you fall down off of it, and everything gets obliterated in your back and your pelvis and your femurs and everything else. Then you're just kind of told to walk it off. What I found out on the MRIs that we did from that explains that so we just did MRIs on last Friday, of just my pelvis bones, my top leg bones, and my spine and the bones, but we did not do anything that touched any of my organs. So there's no update on that, stuff like that. However, we're pretty darn concerned because the way it feels and the water building up in my lungs, but that's a different topic. Anyway, long story short on that one, my cancer has spread like wildfire, which I knew it had. I could feel that it has if you're in this position. And it's such a raw and rare experience for people to go through. But if you're in this experience, you know. And when you know, and then the MRIs show that too, it's more of a validation. It's not oh, I'm sad, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And it's kind of, it's more liberating finding it to be conclusive on the MRIs than any type of verbal stuff through what people will say. An example, prognosis, but we're not going there again. However, that's something different too. So the cancer is spread through like wildfire, and it's throughout my pelvis and throughout it's now on my femur and throughout my entire spine. And also on top of that, I have 7 bulging discs in there too, in my spine. Just, to add insult to injury there, but it's a huge factor of why, my bones there have my body and all the effects on not just the bones, but the nerves that it interacts with and the muscles that it interacts with, of why, just on those areas alone, of why I most days need a cane. And that's okay. I mean, it's something I've talked about. I'm glad I've talked about and processed before about, transitioning into a cane because that's such a unique experience for everybody. And that's something that should be both um, celebrated and honored as well, because I feel like we don't do that a lot in our society of honoring that transition as well. That's a big thing. Again, that's a different topic. But where I am in my cancer right now, this is what we're talking about. We're going to be doing another CAT scan, stuff like that. We were going to do it at the end of this month, but at this point, who cares? Um, but we're going to, just for my own curiosity, do it at the end of June or July this time. And like I told you in my last session, all my cancer treatments have stopped. I really feel like the radiation that I just did, it definitely, I don't know how or what or why this works, but instead of shrinking everything, it grew it and allowed for all the other areas to just spread like wildfire. Yeah, radiation for me is not the silver bullet, as my doctor says, and I absolutely love her for that, but it's not. It's just not. Neither is chemo. It just, it doesn't work, and that's okay. It works for other people. Great, good. For people who like doing it, great, and it works, absolutely. Is it worth a shot? Would not say no to it. Although I'm not going to do it again in the future. I'm getting really tired, so I should need to wrap this up. But I want to tell you where I am and my cancer continued. Of I am now eligible for hospice, and it's one thing to talk about that, understand, and feel good about it. All the hooray, hooray, hoorays, which there's so much hooray, hooray, hoorays, and it is such a good thing to celebrate. It's one thing about talking about it or even planning it for other people. It's another thing when it's for yourself and that when you have to make those decisions yourself. So that's a whole lot of processing I wasn't really expecting, especially being as young as I am. I'm 45. I'm almost still 46. I'm not terribly young. I feel like I've lived a really good life, really, really good life. And guys, keep in mind that this kind of post is me being raw and honest about where I am. It's not I'm giving up. It's not that at all. It's just that my cancer is consuming me quickly and I feel it every day and I'm okay with it. I am at the place in my life of where I'm wrapping up all of my loose ends for real though, and dealing with the processing of what that means. And I've talked to my kids about it and they're so loving and supportive, but I really don't want to get emotional on this, so I don't want to talk a whole lot about that. I really don't. That's not, we've been going through it enough as it is. Um, I'm at a different place in my life right now, and that just needs to be accepted, and that's okay. I want to spend the rest of the days that I have here is what I call hot girl summer. It's a thing. My best friend Alyssa and I, we talked on the phone hours, but forever, however long my period is until the time that I get to be here until the end, I'm entitling the season Hot Girl Summer. And I don't want to laugh too hard because oh my God, my lungs, they just hurt so bad and I'm so tired and I'm feeling so weak, but I'm going to rock that as hard as I can for everything that it means. And that does not mean coming from a 22-year-old perspective with, gosh darn, I appreciate that perspective so much. I feel like laughing so hard when I think about being 22, 23 in the hot girl summer ages of where you're living that young life and you're going from place to place and you're feeling so insecure, but looking back, you're hotter than you ever were, but you're the most insecure you ever were in your life. But your look is on point and all of that, and you got hot girl summer. I appreciate those ages so much. Would not want that kind of hot girl summer again. Not at all. My hot girl summer means to explore and have every bits of the best, as you guys have seen me do for the rest of my days here. Um, I'm finding that my driving ability is going down as well because of all the things that have happened with my body. I can't stand for very long, let alone drive or turn or look over my neck. I'm having, as they say a rapid decline, which is okay with me. Um, that does not mean that I plan on going anywhere in the next couple weeks or even the next few months or anything like that. But I know that the time is coming closer and closer with every day with just the way the decline and happens. That situation is so unique. Hold on. That situation is so unique to anybody who's going through it, and that's why I always want to talk about it, because I feel like media doesn't really talk about this topic as much. And it's a good thing that it doesn't. I feel like it takes quite an ability to have that kind of conversation for real and do it from an authentic place that doesn't, it's almost like you have to be like this boundaries ninja, able to go through the stuff without it, with being affected, but not too much where you can't tell your story. I mean it for real, because you're just kind of blustering, or you're too cold that you can't tell your story for real. I feel like I had to take that 2 weeks processing there so I can be at that place, where I can talk about this. My feelings are my feelings, and that's my boundaries. Um, but this is some stuff that I've never experienced for myself before. And I know that there are a lot of you who could relate because you have family members who have gone through it and it's personal. And everybody does it in their own ways. But for me, it's hot girl summer. And I'll explain to you guys more what that means later on, especially as you see that. But it's a good deal. I'm here for it. And I'm really glad that I have loved ones and supporters who are here for me for that hot girl summer too. So, which, at the end of my days, when everything is said and done, I would love, this is a totally morbid side note, but my best friend and I, we were talking about this, laughing our heads off and totally meaning it. But I want my, after I'm cremated, my urn to say on it, I want it bedazzled like crazy. I want rhinestones on it. I want gorgeous flames on it. And on top of it, it's a hot girl summer because was cremated. And so, but I am donating my body beforehand. And so this week has also been about finding the right, what do you call it? The right foundations to donate my body. And where does that look like? And I'll tell you, it's one thing doing that for somebody else, which I've gone down that road for other people, but not when you're doing that for yourself. There's a whole different level of feels that go in it. But I'm kind of got a little bit of duality going on right now, because I could digress that whole bit on hot girl summer. I'm really looking forward to that and all the senses of the ways. But at the end of it, I'm going to heaven. I know where I'm going. I'm so, 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 so happy in that. But it's all in all, that whole hot girl summer. And just because I'm terminal and just because I end up dying and my form changes here does not mean goodbye, and never will. And those who really, really know me knows that terminal doesn't mean goodbye and what that really means. Because I've been working really hard at showing the people closest to me about how that goodbye does not look like the same thing that they were expecting, and how I would stay close with them and all of that. But that's also kind of why I was posting a lot of the stuff on this channel that I was. Sounds like I'm speaking like extra code or not, but that has to do with the psychic mediumship stuff, but that's a whole different story I'm not even putting in this segment. We're just talking about where I am right now. I'm in my phase of hot girl summer. I'm so excited, and my hot girl summer looks totally different than others, and I'm great with that. I'm pretty happy with that. On the other side, I don't want any negativity towards this either, but I'm a lot in the same space that I was back in February, but I'm not physically able to move like out of the house. I'm on oh my God, my mind. Things that I will go through it here at home, and that's okay. That's okay. That's a whole different topic that I don't want to talk about and have sadness on. I can understand where he's going through, because a lot of people go through this, but at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm protected myself, and that while I go through my hot girl summer, I can have one. You know what I mean? So we're trying to be as loving as possible, considering that we're apart. So yeah, there's that. And in the comments below, my options have, please don't give suggestions on what I should do next and things like that. And on that, because I've really exhausted a lot of options, and I wouldn't be, I'm that type of person who's extremely savvy and really good at going down the rabbit holes of what I need to do to get the things that I need in my life for myself and for the people that I love. Um, I'm going through it. I'm really, really going through it. It's hard. It's got a lot of sadness. It's got a lot of happy, but I'm still here. And that's where I am. I love you, besties. Thanks for being here. Mwah. Bye.